You can tell who got the privileges in America based on the kind of things they ask for. So, Kim Potter's attorney requested that she be home with her family for the holidays after her guilty verdict. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how many black inmates can request to go home for the holidays and can actually do this? Just like Derek Chauvin, oh, I want to go to a federal prison because it's safer. Well, how many black inmates get to request a federal prison to feel safer? I mean, woo. So, of course, the judge refused the request. Mm-mm-mm. So, we know a jury found her guilty of first and second degree manslaughter, which she definitely deserves. So, despite her attorney's pleas, she will remain in jail until her sentencing. So they were hoping to get her out so she could be with her family for Christmas. Wow. She faces a maximum sentence for the first charge of 15 years in prison and a fine of $30,000, and a second charge where she could face a maximum of 10 years in prison and a $20,000 fine. So we know the jury took about 4 days to deliberate in her case. And you saw how they tried to dress her like a granny, put her up on the stand, and she cried and wept and all that stuff that we're seeing them do a lot in court these days. The 49-year-old Potter shot and killed, in which she claims she thought she drew her taser and it was her gun and yada yada yada. But we know Dante Wright is gone. He doesn't get to request to be with his family for the holiday. After the verdict was read, Potter was taken immediately to jail and remained in custody without bond. Her attorney sought the court's mercy and asked for a bond, at least for the holiday weekend to spend at home. This is what her lead attorney had requested. It's the Christmas holiday season. She's a devout Catholic. And y'all know about the Catholics and slavery, right? Devout Catholic. No less. There is no point to incarcerate her. This is what her attorney said. Local outlet WMTW says that Ng also said her remorse and regret for the incident is overwhelming. She's not a danger to the public whatsoever. I cannot treat this case any differently than any other. This is what the judge told him, Regina Chu. Chu told the defense attorneys that Potter's bond must be revoked because the offenses, presumably, will lead to a prison sentence. As she left the court, the Times reported that her family members cried out to her saying, "Love you, Kim." I heard behind the scenes they were all hugging her and everything. But those are the little perks they do for their people and not any defendants that come out of the black community. She responded to her relatives, "Love you," before deputies led her out of the courtroom in handcuffs. Benjamin Crump, one of the attorneys on the Wright family's legal team, issued a statement after the verdict. America must have accountability in cases like these to rebuild trust in police. There's never going to be trust in police. That's never going to happen. The statement read, the family of Dante Wright is relieved that the justice system has provided some measure of accountability for the senseless death of their son, brother, father, and friend. From the unnecessary and overreaching tragic traffic stop to the shooting that took his life that day will remain a traumatic one for this family, and yet another example for America of why we desperately need change in policing, training, and protocols. There is no training, policing, or protocols that is going to get the racism out of these cops. It is just not going to happen. The statement continued, if we are ever going to restore the confidence of Black and marginalized Americans in law enforcement, we need to have accountability and a commitment to listening and to create meaningful change, which is never going to happen. Now, look, they have been slave catchers to police for decades now, centuries, and there is not one inkling of change. They still target the same people they targeted during chattel slavery because when they were created, that's what they were intended to do, target those that were enslaved. And now, today, they target those of the offspring of those enslaved. So they haven't changed. They haven't changed one bit. Only thing different is the date. Other than that, the attitude and everything is exactly the same. So I'm glad she got turned down. This woman don't need to go home for the holidays, and Derek Chauvin don't need to go to a federal prison. He can't handle looking at all the people he put behind bars. That's what it is. He's got to sit there and look at people that he probably falsified police reports. And Kim Potter too. I'm sure she's seeing a lot of people she arrested because I mean they can't do their job without falsifying police reports. So she's seeing those people in there, and so it's Derek Chauvin, and it's mentally breaking him. So he's trying to flee, and she's trying to get out of there to go be with her family. No, no. If you're not granting those requests to other inmates, it should not be granted to them because they were police officers. Remember, you said once you go to jail, you have no rights. So Kim Potter and Derek Chauvin should not have any rights according to your constitution. They are now slaves. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.